Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Blakes and Bounds from Studio G. Just outside actually, we're trying something new for a few episodes. We're just on the fringe of the garage. And today, well, we're going to go way back in time. We're going to talk about elementary school and some things that happened to us. So Denny, I want you to start.
Well, my dad was in the FBI. I think we established that in earlier programs,
Right.
but at one point, FBI agents were transferred and moved around quite a bit.
Yeah.
California, Kansas City, Columbia, Missouri, Kansas City, Springfield, Illinois, Belleville, Illinois, Springfield, Virginia.
Wow.
A lot of moving. So when I was in kindergarten, we lived in Springfield, Illinois, and then we moved to Belleville, and I went to St. Albert the Great and St. Luke's, went to Catholic schools.
Yeah.
Moved back to Springfield, Illinois, and in the middle of fourth grade, we moved to Virginia,
Okay.
and that was the final move for my folks.
Okay.
This is my fourth grade picture. What's unusual is when I left Illinois, though, the last day at school in Springfield, Illinois, they called me to the principal's office. They had to check me out and whatnot. And I came back, and there's a pile of pictures on my desk
Oh yeah?
drawn by all the kids in the class.
Really?
And I was touched.
Wow.
Everyone knew I was going to Washington, D.C.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I remember one that was, they drew the White House. And,
Wow.
oh, God.
So that was at your old school before you
the old school.
moved.
Then we went to Virginia and Key Mill Elementary.
So we saw the picture of you in fourth grade.
Yeah, quite a handsome young
Yes,
strapping fellow.
what a young fellow there. Well, you know, my experience is different than yours in that we didn't move around because of any job that was held by my parents. But I don't know, our family just moved around. My mom and dad, they went to Canada after World War II and lived there for quite a long time. And then, I don't know, they just had this desire to go back to England, which is where they were originally from. So as a family, we all moved over to England, and I lived in England for a few years, almost 4 years.
You don't sound like you did.
No, I know. A lot of people say that. I guess I just wanted to sound American, so I lost the accent. But in early 1968, the family made one last big move, and we arrived in the United States. My old school still exists, but just barely. So we're going to go back and...
For now it exists.
For now. So we're going to take a look at that right now. So our family moved to the United States in January of 1968. And my parents, they waited a couple of weeks before enrolling me in school. And this is where it all started for me in many ways, life in America. At the time, it was called Sunset Elementary. It later became a Spanish language school and changed its name. It's in Bellevue, Washington, in the Eastgate area of Bellevue. So on that first day of school back in 1968, it was February 14th, and I can remember that because it was Valentine's Day. When I first went to school, I mean, obviously most of the day was all about learning and sitting at my desk, but towards the end of the day, all the kids, well, they had prepared a Valentine's little card for me. And this was all new to me. I really don't remember ever doing that in England, which is where I had moved to Bellevue, Washington from. And I think now, unfortunately, it's slated for demolition. So that's, I guess, the main reason why I'm here today. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is just kind of walk the outdoor hallway of my old elementary school. Earlier I said that the school is slated for demolition, and in fact, now that I get back here and take a look, that has already started, because off to the right there used to be a whole bunch of classrooms. Yeah, that all used to be classrooms right there, and well, as you can see, they're gone. Well, whatever you can see behind me, I suppose it doesn't look like much, but for me, this brings back just a flood of childhood memories. That is a backstop, and this is one of the first places I ever experienced baseball here in the United States. We would just play at recess. I think my Little League team may have practiced here once in a while. Seattle had a Major League team for only one season at that time. In 1969, we had the Seattle Pilots, and of course their story has been well documented in Jim Bowden's book, Ball 4. I was just a kid living in the area and actually playing Little League at the time. And Don Mincher, one of the Pilots ball players, his son Mark was in our Little League. And that was always pretty cool because occasionally his dad, Don Mincher, and some of the other Seattle Pilots would watch baseball games that were taking place in our league because they came to watch Mark. Okay, here's a really interesting spot for me. I actually have a photograph that was taken right here or just outside these doors. It was all a lot of fun when we weren't in class. That's one of the things we would do. I think I brought street hockey to some of these guys. Anyway, a handful of us just really thought the sport was really fun. We loved hockey. There wasn't that much ice hockey around here at the time. So where I'm standing now, this is where me and my elementary school friends, during recess and after school, at lunchtime, whenever we could, this is where we would play street hockey. And I'm going to walk around a little bit. I think what's amazing to me is how small this seems now. As you can see, it's sort of a outdoor basketball court. I think the hoops are only 8 feet here, if I remember right. And we used to play basketball here too, but as I walk around, we used to set up nets at each end. We had some portable hockey nets that we would use. I had so much fun playing street hockey here and also in my neighborhood in the Eastgate area. Okay, so where I'm standing now, you can see it behind me. There's a trail, and back when I was going to school here, that's the trail that a lot of us kids would walk on to get to school. Okay, so just for fun, we're gonna walk that trail. And I've just entered the wooded area, and it's not really deeply wooded. It's just some trees, but it is got a tree canopy here. And this is the trail that all of us kids would walk to the elementary school. And this is the last leg of the journey. Behind me, Tyee Junior High School, now Tyee Middle School. And you would walk on this little bit of wooded trail, and then when you pop out, you're at Sunset Elementary. Just kind of retracing some of those steps that I used to do way back in the day. I was just a young kid, just starting my journey here in the United States of America. So elementary school, kind of fun. I imagine this is all going to be gone sometime. Bellevue just continues to prosper and grow and change. So this trail, who knows how much longer it'll be here. So one of my fondest memories of elementary school days was the time I spent as a AAA safety patrol person. And that was something that happened throughout the United States, sponsored by AAA, the Automobile Association. And kids would be assigned that task where you would be a safety patrol person, and you just kind of look out for other kids and make sure they were safe as best you could. And I did it for 2 years, grades 5 and 6. And 5th grade, I was just a regular safety patrol person. But for my last and final year here at Sunset, I was made a lieutenant. And boy, that was such an honor for me. So that made you sort of the captain of a team. You would take out your folks, around 5 or 6 other kids, kind of station them where they needed to go. And so you had a little responsibility. And boy, having that honor was a big, big deal for me, being sort of a new kid here in the U.S. So as I walk around what's left of the building, it is good news. Although this building is being demolished, it looks like it will remain a Spanish language school, which is great. Lots of diversity, more diversity than there used to be here in Bellevue. So I think that's a really, really good thing. And today it's been fun just to come back and take one last look before it's all completely gone. All right, Dennis, you and to our audience, thanks for letting me indulge you with a look back at my old school. Yes, you heard the story, so I won't say anything that was in the video, but I guess it just is a reminder of the passage of time, but also just our childhoods. Maybe we could talk a little bit about them one more time in comparison to what kids go through today.
Well, it's amazing that all the schools I went to back in Virginia, the ones I remember, still exist.
Okay.
The high school still exists, but it was remodeled, it was added on to.
Okay.
But they still exist.
Yeah.
My kids who went to school here, their middle school and senior high schools,
Yeah.
They still exist, but the old buildings are gone.
Right.
They've
right.
been rebuilt.
Right. That's happened to me. My junior high and high school. That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
We rode our bicycles.
Yeah, I know. Did you have, what type of bike did you have? Do you remember?
Oh, a Schwinn. I'm sure
You
it was
had
a
a
Schwinn.
Schwinn, yeah.
Everyone had a Schwinn
Most
back
people
then.
did, yeah.
And I rode with my sister, who was 2 years younger, my brother, who was 4 years younger. We three
Right.
rode our bikes.
Right. I rode my bike to school really starting in junior high, but what you saw in the video, that walk on the trail in elementary school, that was the final part of our walk to school, because really we walked through some neighborhoods too. So I don't know, it was at least a mile that we were walking, and there really wasn't a lot of adult supervision. That's what kind of
No.
amazes me now when I think about how I raised my own kids and would drop them off at school. And yeah, so
Well, you
I don't
drive
know.
by elementary schools now, and
Right.
there's a lineup of parents
Right.
to pick up their kids.
Yeah.
They just don't walk
They just
to
don't
and
do
from anymore. Well, maybe you folks watching can think back to where you went to school and the good times and the bad times, and
Yeah.
how it's so much different back then as it
As it is
compared
now.
to today.
Yeah.
How would we grade this podcast?
You mean this episode?
This
or?
episode?
Oh, I don't know.
I'd give it a B plus.
You give it a B plus.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's okay.
It's a passing grade.
It's a passing grade. Yes.